Hi, I'm Ashley,
And I'm Kyle.
and this is our reaction to the Lincoln movie.
The first theme we're going to talk about is the theme that two things that are equal to one thing are equal to each other. Lincoln says this directly in the movie when he's talking about Euclid's theorems to two telegraph boys. This theme reflects the issue of slavery at the time, where there was a lot of equality push within some of the representatives of Congress. Basically, connecting it to slavery means that if a white man is a human and a black man is a human, then based on that theory, then both should be equal.
A second theme that is consistently seen throughout the movie is perseverance. And you can see this especially when the congressmen are trying to convince the other congressmen to vote to pass the 13th Amendment, because it took a lot of dedication and perseverance to continue to fight to convince these men to vote for the right thing.
So one piece of information that we gleaned is the similarity between 1800 politics and to today's politics. By watching the show House of Cards, I've learned that there needs to be a quote whip in Congress where the whip influences other politicians to vote one way or the other. And I saw a lot of this quote whipping in Lincoln, where politicians would influence other politicians to vote one way or the other. And seeing this similarity to today and before was really interesting to see, because even as time has passed on, the core concept of getting votes for Congress hasn't.
One critique we had for the movie was that the title was misleading because the movie was based on the passing of the 13th Amendment rather than of Lincoln's life. There was not a lot of information on his opinions over the matter, rather it was about everyone's opinions, and there was no information about his past life, so the movie wasn't entirely about Lincoln, it was just about passing the 13th Amendment. So instead, the movie should have had a title that was associated with the passing of the 13th Amendment.
Another critique we had was over the over-dramatization of a congressional meeting. From my knowledge, it's a lot more calm and less dramatized than what happened in Lincoln. For example, when the vote was finally passed, there was a lot of papers being thrown up in the air and hooraying within the congressional meeting. And I didn't really think that reflected how the politics were at that time. And I think it was more just a movie attempt to captivate the audience and keep them entertained. We do think this movie was effective because although it did not show the full life of Lincoln, it did show that how the 13th Amendment was passed and how each vote came to be in the passing of the 13th Amendment. And because it was such a specific event and covered in such a long movie, a lot of detail was put into it, and I learned a lot, and we learned a lot about the passing of the 13th Amendment.
Not only did this movie talk about the event and the passing of the 13th Amendment, but it also talked about the impact it had, and this was highlighted when Thaddeus Stevens returned home to his African-American wife, and they kind of had an emotional moment together, and this highlighted the impact the amendment had on the people during the time.
Thanks
Thanks
for
for
watching.
watching!